evening, everybody. Uh, Trying to try out a new time, see how it goes. Hey, Aussie T, good to see you. Um, Hopefully the new time works out for more people. Uh, just trying out different things, see how it goes. A lot of error alerts going on today. My phone's been dinging and dinging. A lot of activities. Uh, uh, Operational information as of 10 p.m., October 22nd, 2024, regarding the Russian invasion. Okay, that just looks cold already. The defense forces of Ukraine continue to hold back the onslaught of the occupying forces. The situation in Pokrovsk and Kharkiv directions remains tense. The enemy is concentrating the main offensive efforts there. We'll get into that a lot more detail later. Today, Russia attacked 122 times, carried out 70 airstrikes, dropping 122 glide bombs. In addition, the Russian invaders used 718 kamikaze drones and carried out more than 3,200 artillery attacks on the position of our troops and populated areas. Hey, Blue. In the Kharkiv direction, Russian terrorists stormed the position of our units in the Voschansk and Staritsa areas 4 times. 2 enemy attacks are ongoing. Ukrainian defenders in the Kharkiv direction eliminated and wounded 72 invaders, destroyed an armored combat vehicle, 2 artillery systems, 32 unmanned aerial vehicles, 7 vehicles, and a unit of special equipment. Wow, they've been busy in Kharkiv. In addition, 2 artillery systems and 4 cars of the occupiers were damaged. Busy little bees. And of course, Voschansk and Staritsi. So Russia's main focus is in this area. This area seems to be fairly settled down. Not sure why. My belief is that they want to try and push along this river to create a defensive zone. Just my 2 cents. 12 times the enemy attacked our positions in the Kupiansk direction, in the areas of Pashanti, Petropavlivka, Kolonivska, Lozova. They repulsed 9 attacks, 3 are ongoing. Just a bit over, still in Kharkiv, kinda, sorta. But Petropavlivka, Kolonivska, yeah, basically this general area. They cut off the area. The cutoff for this area changes depending on the day. So Liman comes up to about here. Kupiansk direction goes, so it's a pretty wide area. Not as heavy attacks, but 12 times is still a pretty decent number of attacks. On the Lumansky direction, Russian troops attacked Ukrainian defenders 14 times today in the areas of Gurivka, Novomikhailivka, Terniv, and Torsky. The fighting continues near Gorakivka and in the Terny district. Terny, and I have yet to find Gorivka. Oh, that's probably why. Gorivka. So this is why it's spelled with a G in one area, H in the other. I can't explain, but there we go. Novomikhailivka, Katerinivka, Terny, Ivanica, so in Torsk. So this line here. There were 14 attacks in this area. In the Kramatorsk direction, Ukrainian soldiers repelled a single attempt by the invaders to advance in the direction of the settlement of Bondarny. See if I could possibly find that one. Yeah, I can't seem to find that one. But that it's towards Kramatorsk and usually, or not Kramatorsk, but oh yeah, yes, Kramatorsk. Oh god. But I'll have to hunt that one down on with the Ukrainian spelling and see if I could find it at a different time. The main efforts of the enemy continue to be applied in the Pokrovsk direction. Here, during the day, the aggressors attacked our positions 40 times in the area of Murolubivka, Promin, Leviska, and Seladov. The defense forces repelled 34 enemy assaults. 6 clashes are still ongoing. According to preliminary calculations, today the occupiers lost 168 servicemen killed and 197 wounded in this direction. A tank, 4 armored combat vehicles, 3 artillery systems, 6 cars, and 4 motorcycles were destroyed. Ukrainian defenders also caused damage to 4 more artillery systems, 3 cars, and 4 enemy armored fighting vehicles. Let me just refresh my memory on the settlements. So there wasn't really saying any activity in Toretsk today, but Myrolubivka, Levsisk, Seladov, so a lot of attacks in this area, and unfortunately Russia seems to have been able to gain quite a bit of ground today near Seladov. Today and yesterday. So they pushed into the residential areas and pushed from the south to the north up towards the residential area. The worrying part for me is them getting a hold of these. You know, it was still gray zone, but if they were able to secure these, that's going to give them a significant height advantage, and things could go badly for Ukraine in this town if these maps are accurate. Sad to hear, but it is what it is. It is war. Nothing's really a happy message. In the Kharkiv direction, the invader is also quite active. 35 enemy attacks were recorded near Herinki, Novodimivka, Grostroy, Katernivka, and Antonivka. Our defenders stopped 21 of them. Battle continues in 14 locations. And again, we're not going very far, and we're not talking about a huge area either. You could easily combine these two areas they talk about, and instead of talking about 40 attacks in one area and 35 in the other, you're talking about 75 attacks, and literally that area, 75 attacks. They're just splitting it up there, basically. Now they talk about Hernivka, Novodimivka, Grostoy, Katernivka, and Antonivka. Oh, get off the writing. Then the key, Ilinka, Antonivka. Okay, so it comes down into this area too. This is like the cutoff, I'm guessing, for Kharkiv, but you're still rather small area. So like the cutoff there, and that's what they're calling Kharkiv. And then this is what they're calling the cross direction. No, zoom out. Oh, I can't zoom out. It looks like it's a big area because I'm zoomed in. But when you look at the map of Ukraine, I mean, it's a small area, and that's a lot of attacks. In the Vermits direction, the aggressor stormed the front edge of our defenses 10 times near Bogoyavlinka and Velika Novoselivka. One attack is in progress. I've already... Bogoyavlinka and Velika Novoselivka. Okay. So we're talking this village here. And I really can't see the other one. Maybe. So, yeah, a lot of attacks but it's a pretty spread out area compared to others. So you're looking at this general area here, whereas about the same size as the previous two areas we were talking about, maybe even bigger still. In the Orhiv direction, the enemy tried to advance on the position of the Ukrainian troops in the Robotny area, but failed. In the Dnieper direction, the defense forces stopped 4 attempts by the invaders to attack our positions. Orhiv and Robotny is here. So they moved their attacks from this area over to this area, trying to see if something else could happen. And the Dnieper area, they're talking about the reservoir and this gray zone near Kherson. I assume that most of those attacks are happening in this area. I'm not entirely sure. There could be other assaults up in this area, but it is not known. Today, Ukraine wants to honor the 35th Separate Marine Infantry Brigade and the 27th Reactive Artillery Brigade for their effective combat work. 35th has been showing up a lot. That's the first time I've seen the 27th in a while. My guess is they're working near Pokrovsk and Khodorkiv. It's very heavy fighting in that area, so that would make sense. Let's beat the enemy and bring our victory closer. Glory to Ukraine. Glory to the heroes. And I'm going to add Razom de Peremojemo, together to victory. Take a minute to catch up with chat with you guys. I missed a lot, so I apologize. Hello, Andrew. Hello, K-Bell. Niels, Mertzi, good to see you. Hey, Kurt. Just seeing if there's any questions. I apologize for the dead air. Vlad, good to see you. Hello, Andrew Young, good to see you. Ronnie, Jan Marie, Golby, B&E. No breaking and entering anymore, right? Keepo Equipment, good to see you. Donald, good to see you. Oh, it looks like I'm all caught up. Yeah, I need to do my voting, but I still, I got the early ballot, but I just haven't filled it out yet. I was out working on getting ready for winter here, getting the tractor chains out and getting a coat of paint on them before I put them on the tires. Now, you wouldn't think tractor chains are so heavy, but oh my God, they're heavy. Okay, sorry, it shocked me. It actually showed up on the right screen when I clicked it.
Бажаю здоров'я, шановні українці, українки.
I love the
Коротко
t-shirt.
про цей день. Провів нараду з прем'єр-міністром Денисом Шмигалем щодо поточних питань і деяких невідкладних рішень, які потрібно ухвалити. Також була нарада із секретарем РНБО Олександром Литвиненком про контроль за виконанням рішень РНБО та підготовка деяких військових питань на наступну ставку. Була доповідь головкома Сирського, фронт і Курська операція, найбільш уваги складним напрямкам на Донеччині, а також потребам наших воїнів, наших бойових бригад в оперативності постачання від партнерів. Оперативність завжди означає більший результат. Я хочу відзначити сьогодні наших воїнів 38-ма окрема бригада морської піхоти, це Покровський напрямок, та 79-та бригада ДШВ, це Курахівський напрямок. Дякую, хлопці. Є зараз важлива новина зі Сполучених Штатів Америки. Америка ухвалила рішення надати $20 мільярдів. Це кошти, які забезпечені замороженими російськими активами.
You guys catch that? Just to back it up. U.S. has approved a decision to provide 20 billion with a B to Ukraine, not from our tax
доларів. Це
dollars,
кошти,
but
які
from
забезпечені
frozen Russian
замороженими
assets.
російськими активами. Частина рішення G7 про 50 мільярдів доларів для України, для нашого захисту, для нашої стійкості. Це те, що дійсно підтримує нас. І важливо реалізувати це вже в цьому році. Дякую Сполученим Штатам, дякую усій групі 7. Ще одне. Сьогодні була зустріч з представниками нашого українського громадянського суспільства. Багато було організацій, зовнішня політика, розвиток оборонної сфери, правозахист, захист свободи. Зокрема, був і Максим Буткевич, український правозахисник та воїн, якого нам нещодавно вдалося звільнити з російського полону. Детально обговорили план перемоги та нашу потребу в об'єднанні у тому, щоб разом повертати справедливість для України, наближати мир і говорити з партнерами про все те, що може зробити Україну сильніше. Ми розраховуємо на єдність в промоції рішення партнерів по запрошенню України в НАТО, а також по розвитку нашої системи оборони. Треба більш активно закликати партнерів до рішучості в оборонній співпраці. І також маємо разом працювати над кроками, які дозволять Україні швидше відновитись після цієї війни. Дякую всім, хто допомагає. Слава всім, хто бореться заради України. Слава Україні!
Героям слава.
Бажаю здоров'я.
Yeah, that was amazing news to hear. The 20 billion of seized Russian assets being released from the U.S. to Ukraine. That will be huge. Not only does it help Ukraine, but it hurts Russia because Russia's been counting on those frozen assets to recover once they're unfrozen. Now that they're gone, so yeah, that's amazing news, and I'm very glad to hear it. It couldn't come at a better time, especially with the uncertainty of the American election. And I hope Biden and Congress and the Senate push more stuff through as they can, just in case Trump does get elected. So, all I can do is steal a slogan from MTV and go rock the vote, people. It's never been more needed for voters to show up and voice their opinion and get the right person in office. And of course, I'm talking about Harris. I'm not saying she's the best person for the job, but she's a lot better than the other choice, in my opinion. Losses for the day. And oh yeah, I actually want to go back here to the news and just double down on something here. This is the operational information as of 8 o'clock today, Ukraine time, so midnight US time. So this is actually information that covers yesterday for me, Central Time. You know, they give the losses here at the end of it for the last 24 hours. And that is what's used to make these. So personnel, 1,460 losses yesterday. That's injured as well as, 200s and 300s. Um, tanks, 9 tanks yesterday, 30 APVs, 51 artillery systems. I was hoping to see more of those. Those are a big number hit to Russia. 85 UAVs, 106 vehicles, and 10 special equipment. You know, and there were one thing I do want to point out is, you know, they're talking about 1,500 North Koreans being moved into Ukraine. That covers a day of their losses. Now there's further talk about another 1,200. So that's about a week of the war that Russia can sustain at these loss rates. It's not great, but when you put it in those perspectives, it doesn't sound as bad as everybody's making it out. You know, it's just more of a grind for Ukrainians. Unfortunately, Russia's been replacing these numbers themselves. So yeah, it is cumulative effect, more people for Ukraine to defend against, and it could be a tipping point. It could not. It's really up in the air until we see what they do. One of the things I thought was funny is within 24 hours of the North Koreans showing up in Russia, there were deserters. 18 of them to be precise. And that was the first day they were in Russia that they just disappeared. I think 6 months from now, you'll start hearing stories from some of those people that defected. Unfortunately, it's one of those things that has such a lag time that it doesn't really connect until you realize that, oh yeah, that was the people that defected the first day they were out of North Korea. So it'll be about 6 months before we hear about those North Koreans that disappeared that first day. I would love to go through the news, the mass media news, but there's really only 2 stories that have popped up. Lukashenko telling the BBC that North Korea troops would escalate the conflict. And that, I mean, it's worth looking into. I'm not going to play it because I don't want to hear him, but it's kind of weird that Lukashenko is talking about escalation when we all know Putler's hands up his you-know-what. Yeah, the two, Putin and Lukashenko, known each other for years and meet regularly. So it seems a little weird for him to say that North Korea, yeah. I asked him to comment on the claims that North Korea has sent troops to fight along Russia and Ukraine. Oh, total rubbish. Knowing his character, Putin would never try to persuade another country to involve its armies in Russia's occupation of Ukraine. So total denial that it's happening. But if it was happening, it would be an escalation. It is happening. Just no picture evidence to support it yet. I I get you there, Kurt. I'm a registered independent. Um, I try to make my vote for the lesser of the two evils, is how I usually put it. I wish that wasn't how I had to vote, but yeah, that's how I've had to vote. So yeah, it's double talk from Lukashenko, and I don't understand why BBC is giving him a platform to spew what he was told to say. If you want to read the full thing, go BBC or Google News link. The other one is a story by Forbes about Ukrainian Marines hitting the Russians who shot 9 Ukrainian prisoners. I want to go into this because this is being used as a troll point that, oh, see, Ukrainians are doing the same thing. Well, you can see here on the video, Ukraine's Revenge was pushing into the area and using the cannon on a BTR as a machine gun. And they literally just went in and basically had a 4th of July fireworks display on top of the Russian positions. But the background of the story, and get that off the screen so it's on October 10th, Russian Marines from the 155th Naval Infantry Brigade overran a team of Ukrainian drone operators in Zeleny Chalet. Okay, I'm sorry, that just looks too much like shillelagh, and my brain's not liking it. A tiny hamlet in Kursk Oblast. The Russians stripped the Ukrainians, yes, they were naked, ordered them to lie face down on the ground, and then shot them while they were lying face down on the ground. There was a video of it, not a very pleasant one to watch. So a week later, like 5-6 days ago now, Ukrainian Marines counterattacked that settlement and meted out a measure of vengeance. A platoon of Marines riding in several M113s, led by a pair of T-64 tanks, thundered along the main north-south road leading past the town. The T-64s popped smoke for cover and blazed away with their 122mm guns. Glancing blow on a Russian vehicle. Ukrainian drone spotted bodies. Just a small part of the work they do every day, but it was, and they're taking, so they took a little bit of payback for having to watch their comrades get executed for defending their homeland. But they weren't doing it by going after prisoners. They were going after active combatants in a trench with defenses that were firing back. Air raids map. Just cover the air raids a little bit. Kharkiv's only been under air raid for 22 minutes. Sumi's been under air raid for 1 hour and 15 minutes so far. Chernihiv has been under air raid for 1 hour. Kiev region has been under air raid for 3 hours and 15 minutes. Tchaikovsky, 2 hours, 23 minutes. Zhotomir, 2 hours, 23 minutes. Vinnytsia, 1 hour, 34 minutes. And Klemensky, 48 minutes. You also have to realize that it is 4 o'clock in the morning. You know, literally the middle of the night for people trying to sleep, trying to work the next, get rest to work the next day, to bring in harvests, to go to the grocery store and, be a cashier, literally trying to keep people awake all night. Trying to do sleep deprivation on a national scale. Thank you for removing Lushenko. Now, if you can, I don't worry about most of them, but the one I want you guys to look at is Krybar or Rybar. uh if he wants to be a mod, Andrew can say something and I'll put him as a mod. LJ, you're not as late, and I also started an hour earlier than I did the other night, so oh, hey Sally. I don't have a bunker, but I have a root cellar. Does that count? Don't worry, Blue. I'm not gonna make you a mod unless you ask for it. Um, taking a look at like the monitor, like 12 minutes ago. In Zhotomir 2, that's a mistranslation. Basically 2 drones in Zhotomir, 2 drones in Chernihiv, and drones over cities in other regions. So 7 o'clock, so 35 minutes ago, Kiev, had 1. Cherkasky and Kiev, there was a group of 8 shaheeds. Zhotomir, 2 shaheeds. Well, UAVs, we don't know if they're shaheeds, but in Odessa, 4 drones, 4 UAVs. And I guess the 4 that were in Odessa moved into Vinnytsia. Ugh. Pretty active day. So again, it's about 35 minutes ago. Two shaheeds in Odessa to Venezia, five shaheeds in Chernovsky to Venezia Zhytomyr, one shaheed on Belotorisk, one shaheed on Zhytomyr. So, yeah, drones circling throughout the night. Just, and the thing that kills me is they're not going after military targets. They're just keeping them up in the air as long as they can and then crashing them into apartment buildings. So trying to keep people awake, uncomfortable, out of their homes. I mean, that's the definition of a terrorist act. You're trying to disrupt the normal lives of citizens. If you're going after military targets, okay, fine. I'd give it a pass, but I have yet to see a Shaheed hit a military target in Ukraine. Um, in my root cellar, I have, the average stuff you'd see. Apples, uh, some squash, couple pumpkins, um, not turnips, but parsnips, carrots, that kind of stuff. But I also have two old style military cots with two sleeping bags and a little miniature generator just in case for tornadoes. I live in a tornado area. So, yeah, it's always something you should keep in a root cellar if you're in areas that have disasters. Um, all of them, Sally, all of them. You guys talk about cups of tea. I'm out of tea. This is my tea picture. So, send tea. And then I have, water. Oh, we just harvested honey here. Oh, so good. Let me see if I can pull up a picture for you guys. Oh, I didn't upload those pictures yet. Um, Let me see if I can find an old picture for you. So this is um a friend of mine and trapped the swarm and was transferring them into you know the trap route we took them out of. So this is the trap we had. This is the beat box we built, and the woods behind the house. So just something fun. And got our honey off of them and jarred it up and ready to go. And it's delicious honey. Not really. The only time I've ever had to wear a bee suit was down in Arizona, and we were dealing with Africanized hives. Um, let's see. YouTube, me, shorts. This is what I was doing today.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. What?
So, my tractor, the winter chains for the tires, that one's only half painted. That was part of the project today. You see my little orchard in the back? That was one of my projects today. No, but ice is, and that's why I need chains for my tractor tires. Let's see if I could find. Go to Reuters. U.S. finalizes 20 billion share of 50 billion G7 loan to Ukraine. Okay. So it's a loan backed by frozen Russian assets. The U.S. on Wednesday finalized its 20 billion portion of a long-awaited 50 billion loan to Ukraine backed by frozen Russian assets, announcing plans to start making funds available by year end for economic and military aid. So 20 billion from the US, 20 billion from the EU, and 10 billion to be split by G7, Britain, Japan, and Canada. The loan will be repaid with the earnings from over 300 billion in sovereign Russian assets that have been immobilized since Russian armies invaded Ukraine. The funds are mostly held in Europe. In other words, Ukraine can receive the assistance it needs now without burdening taxpayers. Biden wants to make 10 billion of the loan funds available for military aid, a plan that would require the approval of U.S. Congress. Does not need Congress approval to make the 10 the other 10 billion. Either way, the U.S. will provide 20 billion in support to Ukraine through this effort, whether it's split between economic and military support or provided entirely via economic assistance. So yeah, there's a vote coming up by Congress to give half of it as military aid instead of economic. So that's interesting that they did it as a loan against Russian assets, with the payments from the interest on the Russian assets. That's kind of a weird way to do it. Why not just unfreeze 20 billion in assets and give it over? I don't get that. But this was an easier way for them to do it. I'm happy to have it done. Yeah, you guys talk about fall like it's something. Here we had summer until about 2 days ago. You know, it was 89 degrees here 2 days ago, and we got about 2 weeks of fall, and then November 2nd we're below freezing and looking at getting, you know, the white stuff. So that's all I wanted to cover today. Don't have anything else for you at the moment, unless you guys have any questions or subjects that I'm unaware of. Cool. It's always good to hear about new subs. You know, it means I'm actually doing something that's worth continuing. So that's always a good feeling. Just want to point out that, you know, I'm not doing this. I don't have a Patreon. I don't have anything like that. This isn't my job. I'm on disability. I get a check from an insurance company every month to cover being disabled. So, you know, I don't need to make income off of this. I don't need to promote myself. I rarely do. I just want to raise awareness about what's going on in Ukraine, and you know, one of the reasons I started doing this report is that number here. Basically this paragraph. Because we all knew, we all understood there was combat taking place every day. We all understood there was airstrikes, kamikaze drones, and artillery strikes every day. I did not realize I've seen that vary from 101 combat clashes all the way up to 197 in a single day. I knew airstrikes were happening. I didn't realize 70 airstrikes were happening a day before I started reading this. I did not know they were dropping 122 guide bombs a day, or using that many kamikaze drones. I knew there was a lot of artillery attacks, but it's interesting to see, like in the first year of the war, Russia was doing like 15 to 20,000 artillery strikes a day, and now they're getting 3,000 and change. So, I mean, that is Ukraine actively working on their artillery systems, counter batteries. The fact that they can only put out 3,000 shells a day instead of 20,000, that is very good news for Ukraine. I'd like to see that number drop in half again. And the other thing I liked about this is it is actually the Armed Forces of Ukraine website. This is news straight from the proverbial horse's mouth. This is the information directly from them. It's not rearranged and I'm using Google Translate in Chrome to translate it from Ukrainian, so it's easier to read for you guys. I actually go in and try to read these stories in the Ukrainian language. I don't do very well. There's a lot of words I don't know, but sometimes I get it. Sometimes I don't. I just keep trying. And it's as simple as doing that to get, okay, what's that word? Oh, carried. Or, Dronov, kamikaze. Okay, what is that word? Yeah, carried again. So this is also a tool for helping me learn the Ukrainian language. I'm still doing Duolingo. I got to do my Duolingo for today, but I'm not recording it anymore. The views were just not there to keep it going. Got down to like getting 3 views for a recording that just wasn't worth the effort. Yeah, I'm seeing 15 viewers, 37 likes. And well, YouTube, me, go manage videos, show you some of the back end. My last learning Ukrainian video had 8 views, 1 comment, 1 like. Or if I go live, yesterday had 55 views, 3 comments, 25 likes. So this is a much better format to get the message out there. I'm sharing information and learning, streaming as I go. And obviously shorts get huge amounts of views. Silly little 20-second video about building my chicken run, 506 views. I need to figure out a way to make shorts about the stuff I talk about here. I'm just coming up with the idea. I don't know. So I'm learning, let me go back into here and just to be 100% transparent. Let's see. Oh, the urn. So I'm up to 220 subscribers. Before I can even make a penny from YouTube, I need to get to 500. I'm not asking for 500 subscribers. I'm just saying that's what I need. I also need 3,000 hours of watch hours. So I'm at 1,821. So yeah, I'm close to being able to get paid for my YouTube videos, but if you guys know about YouTube, you don't get paid much. I think I'd maybe get like $10 in ad revenue a month, if that. So there's a lot of backstory to, or back end stuff to YouTube, and no copyright strikes. I don't do subtitles. Can go through, do comments, analytics. This is so. In the last 28 days, I've had 3,800 views, 1.1K watch hours, and have gotten 30 subscribers. And most of that since I started doing these streams. So I know a lot of you guys from Rick the Ukrainian streams, and you like transparency, so I thought you would like the look in the back end of YouTube. I actually do that for other streamers, Sally. I go to like a playlist and put the playlist on loop, mute it, shut my monitor off, and go do my chores while I'm outside. Never gonna let you down and desert you. Yeah. So yeah, even if I wanted to make money from YouTube, I'm way too far off. And that's not my goal. Get the message out there, get people thinking about Ukraine every day. And I'm, like I said, I'm on a fixed income. I literally can work for like 15 minutes and then I have to sit down because the discs in my back are pinching each other. So I was like, okay, sit down, pop the back. Anyways, I could talk about that stuff for hours, and I don't really need to. You guys don't need to hear it. So I'm going to end the stream and say good night. Thanks for coming. And of course, stay safe, everybody.
Чайковский